Emmanuel Macron distances himself from Joe Biden. We discuss the latest fake news from Russia and Ukraine, and we give you the latest on Hunter Biden. Welcome to Disrupt. Hello everybody, welcome to the Ukraine brief at 6 p.m. where we disrupt the mainstream media's narrative. We give you what you don't hear from the mainstream media, or you might hear from them, but with a bit of a spin and propaganda. So let's be objective in this video. Let's talk about how the mainstream media reported Joe Biden's idiotic comments a couple of days ago when he was with the troops, and he said that we have to basically get rid of Vlad. We have to get rid of him. It was not really diplomatic, and it wasn't really statesmanlike, and the media just reported that and stopped from there. And the BBC, only for like a few hours, discussed the fact that Emmanuel Macron is trying not to get involved with those comments. In reality, Emmanuel Macron actually slammed Joe Biden and said, he shouldn't have said that. I wouldn't have said that. And since then, over the last couple of days, he's been distancing himself from Uncle Joe, so Smelly Joe. And this is not really helping the narrative of NATO, because if Biden is still is a leading voice of NATO, then we're all in trouble. Because regardless of all the complications and all the historic mistakes and corruption, we still need a bit of stability in the West. And if this is the face of stability in the West, then yeah, we're all doomed. And you can't really blame. It's a weird situation where you're making me agree with Macron. That makes me mad. And I'm not happy about this. But yes, I agree with Emmanuel Macron. So the last time I'm going to say this ever, hopefully, in my life. But he's absolutely right. Joe Biden needs to really be careful. He became president, promised us that, he claimed that Trump was not predictable. Trump could say something randomly and could cause an international conflict. That didn't happen, did it? Now, the threat and the real danger is Joe Biden's brain, Joe Biden's mouth, because we don't really know exactly when and how, where he could say something that could cause a lot of trouble. And it's not really planned, and he's actually completely losing his mind. So we got this bit, and you got all the fake news that's coming out from all sides. For example, CNN got a bad history, especially with Lemon, in terms of what they've done in the past. So people have no faith when it comes to mainstream media. When they were on the ground in Ukraine, they had this obviously footage, and it was actually Ukraine because you could see all the evidence. But on the right-hand side, on top of the CNN logo, you can see Edmonton firefighter uniform. Now, what happened was, I fully understand that because the credibility and ethics of journalism and broadcast journalism has gone down over the last few years. People have no faith in CNN and BBC and these guys. Everyone's skeptical. Good. Question everything. But questioning things is different to deciding what the facts are. Your truth, like Meghan Markle. Some people fell for the trap because I don't like CNN, then I'm going to decide everything that I see on CNN is fake. So they decided saying, firefighter has a uniform, Edmonton, that's not Ukraine. That's not Ukraine. Okay, so we have to be objective, and we have to do it because Edmonton and firefighters spent the last few weeks in March actually collecting donations, and they donated their uniforms and sent volunteers. So a lot of them are actually volunteers from Edmonton, and they all won there. And that footage, if you see the full footage up, we can't post it because of copyright issues, unfortunately. You can actually see that the rest of you can see Ukraine, the rest of it. It's not a random footage from 5 years ago in Canada or in America. It's not like that. We have to call it out. Regardless of which side we're in, we have to be objective, because if we want to fight against fake news from the left, then if we make mistakes, we have to also stop it right there. Otherwise, you're going to give more ammo to the other side and say, see, fake news only comes from one side. That's one issue. But on the other hand, go back to the mainstream media narrative. Why are they not talking about Hunter? Where is Hunter? Where is his laptop? Now, this is another story, another topic that it really depends how you cover it. Because questioning things is very important. There's a lot of dodgy stuff happened. So, for example, the latest that we have is Hunter Biden's biofirm partnered with the Ukrainian researchers and isolating deadly pathogens and using funds from Barack Obama's government. So all these things exist, but it really depends how you investigate and how you question things. Investigate, good. Question things, good. But if we then try, some people will try to then create a scenario based on some of the facts that we know, and then create saying, well, Hunter, because of this, Hunter is a lizard from Mars who stayed in Scotland and he got some superpowers from Scotland, and now he's basically the puppet master behind Klaus Schwab, and he's been responsible for Titanic, and that's where it goes crazy. Then don't give ammo, so they don't go completely down in the rabbit hole, but question things, because the media are not talking about him. We have to make sure, first step, make him a topic. Talk about it. There are only a couple of channels that kind of every now and then discuss this, but they try to hide. They try to completely bury down any evidence of any potential corruption. We know exactly Hunter Biden is dodgy. His laptop. Where's your laptop, Hunter? We have to talk about this. I mean, the thing is, if we want to get this right, if we want things to come out about Hunter and about all those links, then we have to be smart about it. The conservative side, we have to be smart about how we promote this as a debate. If we come across as weirdos, then we've already lost the debate, and they have every opportunity and also every reasoning, the mainstream media, liberal media, to not talk about him, saying, well, we don't really feel the pressure to talk about Hunter because the people who are asking for it are crazies, from their opinion. We're not crazy, but that's what they think. So we have to make sure that we win the debate, we push until we actually start talking about this. And I from what I've been hearing from Team Trump in America is that the next few rallies are going to be quite interesting. Trump is going to be hopefully talking about a lot of issues that hasn't been discussed yet, and we'll have to see how the midterm elections pan out in the US. Now, America aside, let's talk about this country. Now, this is going to be controversial. Some of you will disagree with me, but I'm saying this because I care. We have this scheme where you can sign up as volunteers and Ukrainians could come to the UK. And if you have a spare room. Cool, that's good. It's better than obviously having people going to five-star hotels on taxpayers' money or become illegal homeless kind of situation. But Victoria Prentice, a Tory MP, who's become the first MP to bring in a Ukrainian refugee. So that's good. That one point to Tories having the first Tory MP doing it. Good. And Victoria Prentice is a nice person and all that. Yeah, we get it. And there is a family connection linked between the two. I believe they met before when Prentice was in Ukraine, and like a family friend, something like that. The issue I have is when this news came out, and I believe she means well, but sometimes we are so patronizing that I just hate it. It just it's very frustrating when you hear from Prentice and a Tory MP saying she's done a great job, good, great virtue, yep. But then she says, I'm gonna keep her in my house and provide and teach her the skills so that she could rebuild Ukraine. You, a member of parliament, a Tory MP, you are going to teach her life skills. So this is the problem I have. The reason I'm bringing this up is because historically, it usually happens from the left. They treat every single person who is an actual, genuine refugee or migrant in need as if they are needy plebs, uneducated, needy plebs who can't do anything themselves. So the privileged middle-class Westerners, we are so smarter than them, so we have to help them. We have to teach them. You realize so many of the refugees, political refugees, historically in any country that came to the West, they were doctors or they were very scientists and very smart people, the teachers or whatever, and they don't need a Tory MP, a member of Parliament, to teach them life skills. It's a bit patronizing. That I know she means well. I'm just mentioning it. Shut it down right now before others continue this narrative. Angela Rayner and all the other nutters. Although I highly doubt that Angela Rayner is going to have a Ukrainian refugee in her house. But I don't know, maybe she will. But this is bad. Don't be patronizing. How do you know? Maybe she knows better than you. Just because she's a refugee doesn't mean she's poor or she's stupid. I mean, this is the problem I have with a lot of the middle class kind of liberal privileged people here in the West. That they don't really understand. They just be down to earth. Like maybe someone who happens to be a genuine refugee who's in need right now is actually smarter than you. Maybe she could teach you a life skill. And you're saying, oh, I'm going to keep her on my house and make sure that I'm going to be her Yoda and give her life skills so that she could go and rebuild Ukraine. Well, you're gonna teach her to be a builder? So this is the problem I have. And I think I just had to, I know some people might disagree with me, but I'm saying it from a good angle. And credit to her, fine, it's her personal choice to help her Ukrainian. Cool, brilliant. But I know that she probably didn't mean it patronizing me, but it's a bit weird. It's a bit weird. Let's just be more just normal. We're going to come back with more news updates throughout the evening. Give us more feedback about this new 6 p.m. show, Disrupt, and the Ukraine Brief. We're going to try and obviously improve this show every single day. We're going to add more segments to the show as well, more interviews. So definitely subscribe to the channel. I'm Tousi, and this was Disrupt.